All right, welcome to another episode of Spiritual Fuckboy. I'm your host, Benjamin Arthur Duffy, and I'm joined by one of my good friends, Gretchen Lindemann.
Hello.
Yep. So, Gretchen, why don't you tell people a little bit about you, a little bit about your history, sort of what brought you here now?
So I grew up in Texas, near San Antonio. I graduated high school at 2018, decided I wanted to move to Colorado because I was just becoming this super adventurous person and was really starting to connect to nature, and then moved out here for about 3.5 years, and then went to Lost Lands Music Festival in Ohio, and then got the Wook flu, as they would call it, and then bought a ticket to Hawaii. So now I've been in Hawaii for the last 4 years, and yeah, here I am now.
So yeah, just a little bit more of the backstory about sort of what moved you out of Texas, and then just so people understand, what is the Wook flu?
I think the Wook flu, to start, is just when you go to any music festival, you're around millions of people, everyone is, on something, and there's dust and dirt, and you're not as clean. Like for me, I go camping and I'm not showering for like 3 days. Like I don't care. So you're just collecting a lot of whatever is in the air. So I got the flu basically, but they call it the Wook flu.
Gotcha.
After you go to a music festival.
I was curious if the Wook flu was maybe like you caught the bug at the music festivals.
Yeah, I caught some weird bug.
Yeah.
But the bug helped me sit in my room and be like, what am I doing with my life? And then that's when I was like, I need to change everything. And so I DM'd this girl on Instagram. She got me a job, a place to stay, which was crazy.
In Hawaii.
And then moved there and was a live-in nanny for like 4 or 5 months, raising these 2 beautiful little kids. But I guess getting to Colorado in high school, I was obviously grew up having a great, beautiful life. But in high school, when you're like learning about the world and you're growing up, changing, dealing with friendships, boyfriends, whatever, like I just didn't have the best friend group. Like there's a lot of people that I love and still talk to, and they're amazing human beings, but there's a lot of people that we didn't vibe, and I was really depressed and sad and just didn't fit in. And then went to Colorado the summer before senior year. And then I was like, I want to be adventurous. And then I was fake adventurous, which I don't really know how to explain that, but I just wanted to be happy. And, you have to fake it till you make it. So I literally faked it. And then I became adventurous and became happy like within the last 7 years of my life by moving and going on a hike. Like my first hike I ever did was literally 10 miles. I moved from elevation to Estes Park was like 7,000 feet. And these guys were like, come on a 10-mile hike. And I was like, okay, sure. Did it. And then, after that, here I am now. And
adventure. So we spoke about this a little bit briefly before we started recording, but that period in high school that was so difficult for you for various reasons that we won't get into. We talked about it as being maybe that dark night of the soul for you. For people who haven't heard that concept before, the dark night of the soul is sort of a phrase, a concept that represents when a human being goes into this dark period of life where we're questioning ourselves, we're questioning spirituality, we're questioning our direction, we feel lost, and we feel maybe depressed or anxious. And then it sounds like for you, that dark night of the soul pointed you to Colorado and to become a climbing guide.
Yeah, I did become a climbing guide, and I worked on a zip line. That was really cool. But how I got there too is like my parents didn't save really. I mean, they probably saved some money, but not enough for me to go to college. And I also felt like I never liked school. Like it sucked. I was always daydreaming and
school
like,
sucks.
It was not very fun. But they didn't really have money for me to go to college. There was no way I was going to work my ass off to go to college or like pay for my own college. I was like, I'm not doing that. So my mom was like, maybe you could move to Colorado, like, I don't know, be a rock climbing guide. So I found out the YMCA of the Rockies, they do work trades. So you get like free food, room and board, and you could be a counselor, you could do housekeeping. But I was like, I'm going to rock climb and work with kids or whatever. And
this is in Estes Park, right outside of Rocky Mountain National Park.
And then my parents also visited me that summer of 2018 when I was living there. And they were like, we actually want to move there. And I was like, okay, sick. And then so probably like 6 or 8 months later, we all moved to Estes Park. And then, I was there for like 3.5 years.
And this is part of why I really wanted to have you on, is just to show people that there's other ways to live beyond just following the momentum of the norms, like going to college, which I did. I spent actually total 8 years in school because I kind of fucked around and failed like a couple semesters in undergrad because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then I'm just so much in debt. And then I went to grad school and we just got out of the academic system. And academia kind of sucks. So you're kind of right on that. Me having been through it. Okay, there's pros and cons. It doesn't completely suck, but I'm glad to be out. Let me put it like that. Yeah. So again, you kind of highlight that there's another way to live. Just letting go into adventure, being driven by really just your heart, just sending it out to Colorado. Had you visited Colorado at all?
Yeah, I went the summer before for a week with my mom and my stepdad, and then went with my dad and some girlfriend at that period of time to like Vail. And then I think, I just started becoming more adventurous, like within going into my senior year, was kind of like not talking to people that I used to talk to, like was really quiet, but still had like my friends for sure. And then, randomly, like I remember going to 2 college fairs or whatever, and I was like, I honestly just wanted to get away from school for the day. Like me and this girl went just for like fun. But then, my mom was like, we don't have money for you. And like, you could go to like what's this college before the big college? Community college. I was like, I'm not doing that. What? And I didn't even know like who I was at that point. So I don't even know what I would have been studying.
Right.
Like I think if I went to school now, I would know what I want to study and like learn, but there's no way I'm doing that.
I think that's a major theme in our culture, which is a lot of people just sort of follow this, what they perceive as a set track. Like, oh, I graduate and then like, the kids who are going to make something out of their lives, they go to college. But so many kids do that and they don't know what they want to do. They don't have any space. We're in this system from elementary school, middle school, high school, college. There's no space for this human being to breathe as they're developing. So, hence the gap year, which is so useful. But just, again, get out of the momentum of this system that's telling you to, again, just go, pay more money, be part of the produce, consume system. And so you just being able to take a step back from that and to follow your heart and recognize, oh, this is another way to be deeply fulfilled, to follow, again, that quest for adventure. Yeah,
I feel like I was always different too in my family. So I was like, I just knew deep down my soul was like, you're different and you're going to be different and you're going to figure out why you're different. And here we go.
And this brings me to your philosophy. So if you had to give some sort of general guidance, some philosophy that you live by about your life, what might that be?
I think just doing whatever your soul wants to do, like what you really deeply connect with, go for that. I feel like I have a lot of great humans in my life. So I think just me as a human connecting with other humans, making great friendships is super important to me. Seeing new places, eating food, like just doing what you love, going to music festivals, camping, I don't know. So I think I'm just here to like really vibe and have fun and connect with people and shake my butt and listen to dope music.
And there's nothing
and hug
wrong
trees
with
and
that.
look for frogs.
Exactly. Gretchen is an angelic creature who's here to vibe, to have fun, to love this earth. And again, we have this conditioning that might say, oh, there's something wrong with that. What about the job? What about the security? What about the white picket fence? And that's not what you desire. Yeah. And again, a big part of the work I'm doing is how do we, or not how, but can we really trust our desires? Yeah. Get out of the mind that's saying all these stories of nah, should, coulda, woulda.
I'm still learning that too. Like I'm always going back and forth, but I do trust, like, follow your soul, like whatever that means,
So for me, it's almost like we have a choice to either act out of love and trust or to act out of fear and uncertainty. And the more you act from one of those places, the more you're like reaffirming that. So you've taken those steps to act out of trust, love, desire, to follow that, and it's taking you really amazing places. Now you're living in Oahu, working on a boat, like free diving and taking pictures and making money like that.
Yeah,
and it's so beautiful.
I'm very blessed, and I love feeling blessed and like writing that I'm blessed, and it just makes you more blessed. I think, words of affirmation, guys. I swear.
Exactly.
It works.
Exactly. Like we are only what we say that we are in the deepest level. When I say that I'm blessed, all of a sudden I feel it.
And then you just attract more blessings. Yeah.
Because we don't attract what we want. We attract what we are.
Yeah. You try. I always say that. Yeah. Like same with like friendships. Like that's just how it works. You just attract what you are. And or things are mirrors of yourself, and then you just learn from those experiences, and then you just attract better than the next round of whatever that is.
And yeah, Gretchen has so many friends that honestly I'm like amazed at how.
Shout out to all my best friends. I literally love you all. You know who you are. My like 100 best friends.
Exactly, at least.
But I just love giggling and loving I just love it.
And I love that you love those things.
Yeah.
And I want to then bring it to kind of how we met. So this brings me into music festivals, specifically Burning Man.
Well, I followed you so long ago, and then we were at Envision together, which everyone should go to Envision. It's life-changing.
Music festival in Costa Rica.
But I think we walked past each other, but never actually met. But then Sierra was like, y'all both need people to go with to Burning Man. And then...
So our friend Sierra, who we both met
love you.
Envision. Yeah, we love you, Sierra. Shout out. So... Yeah, we both met Sierra, and all became friends with her. And then she hit me up because I was on the fence about going to Burning Man this year. And she was like, yeah, 2 of my friends really want to, they need somebody to go in on an RV with for the burn. And I was like, ooh, I don't know. She sent me their Instagrams, and I was like, oof, both these girls are really fine, and I think I have to go. So we ended up just making plans. We met up a little bit before, and just became really good friends, and got the RV, went to the burn, and that was the beginning of this dynamic. This was I guess we met a little bit before the burn.
It was in August.
Yeah.
Because I was in Canada at Shambhala, and then got back, met up with you, and then Burning Man was the end of the month.
And Shambhala is another music festival as well. And this brings me to Shambhala, Envision, and Burning Man. If you want to go to good music festivals,
go to those 3. Yeah.
Take my word for it.
Yeah.
And Gretchen's.
Yep.
So, but this brings me to a bigger topic about what do music festivals mean to you? What do they do for you? Why do we spend so much money to go to these events?
Yeah. That's such a deep question that's honestly so hard to answer, but I think you just meet amazing people that are super aligned with you in some magical way. You get to hear music from all over the world and be yourself and just dance and all these raves, it's so true. People don't judge you there. Everyone is there to just have fun and be free and live it up and shake their butts. And I think I grew up going to a lot of rap concerts, and those were always so weird and judgmental. And I love rap. I listen to rap honestly almost every day.
I also love rap.
Yeah, I love it. But concerts of that just weren't the vibe for me. And once I started going to raves, I was like, wow, everyone's so friendly and nice and respectful and loving. And I've met the best people through this. So it's something that I'm definitely going to be doing my whole life. I'll bring my kids to Envision, drop them off at the playground there.
There's a couple points I want to touch in on. First, that we have these conditioned norms in society. And then these events, when you have a bunch of people coming together, a lot of them taking certain substances, being very open, dancing, expressing your body to music, and recognizing you can break the norms, the conditioned experience of what is acceptable and what is not. And you can move beyond that into a place where you're free to express yourself. When we have so much locked up energy, so much shame that we're not even aware of a lot of the time, but just it keeps us from expressing. And when you find those people in these music festivals, for instance, where you can express yourself fully and be held in that and not get made fun of or kicked out of the tribe by weak, insecure people. When everyone is holding each other, you recognize I can be exactly who I am and I don't have to hide that.
Yeah.
And that is medicine. That is medicine. And it's beyond the cultural norms. There's really nothing like it, being able to feel held in your totality. And that's where music festivals really changed me. You tap into it a little bit and you learn, I can trust what's coming through me. And this is desire in the very sort of in the very minute, very quick sense. It's happening so fast. How do I move my body when the bass hits like that? And you get to see, how do I move my body, and am I okay with that? Or am I trying to perform as a dancer? Am I trying to impress people? Can I just relax into maybe the deeper parts of ourselves, expressing soul, really? And so this takes me into a point where I want to talk about one more bit just about the rap music. because I fucking love rap music.
I love rap.
I grew up in New York, and I always have loved rap. She grew up in Texas.
Yep.
And it's bangers.
It is.
And so the thing is, rap shows, though, let's be honest, the vibes there are not it.
I mean, some of them are great. Like, I've had great moments, but I don't know.
I actually haven't, if I'm being honest. I mean, maybe I haven't been to the best rap shows. So somebody show me where they're at.
Yeah.
But this is where somebody like Tape B, shout out Tape B, artists who are bringing together rap and like dubstep into the festival scene. Because I've always said for the longest time, like heaven on earth would be if we could get like the festival crowd at rap shows so that the vibes are on point, and I'm listening to like heavy bangers by Young Dolph and Key Glock or whatever, just with people spinning fire and shit. That'd be crazy. So I'm gonna plant that seed for the collective. Hopefully we can make that happen. Tape B is leading the way. Check his shit out. Bangers.
I think people our age too, like we're all changing the game. It might take a minute, but I think it's going to happen.
Totally.
It's just hasn't happened yet, but it's planted.
And this is this resurrection, this new world that we're actually witnessing. We're witnessing this blooming happening right now. We are both a part of it. Yeah. So many people are. And the old ways of seeing things, the old ways of relating to ourselves in the world are dying. And they won't come back. Yeah. Not in the same way. And we're opening up to what I think is a deeper understanding of trust in ourselves, in our expressions, and who we are, letting go of fear and opening up to that, trusting that you can let go of that fear and that it'll be okay and that the water is fine. So this brings me to my next point. So in most music festivals, certain substances are extremely common. So in the festivals we go to, Burning Man, Shambhala, Unison, also shout out Unison.
Just everything.
Yeah, Envision.
Every rave festival.
People take drugs, or let's call it medicine, if you're at like Unison, for instance. But shout out Unison. But certain substances like LSD, psilocybin mushrooms, ketamine, DMT, MDMA, MDA, all of these substances are, I think, tools and really real medicine when they're used in the right way. And I want to give you a chance to talk about, because I will talk about psychedelics. I will. Just wait. But Gretchen is actively mostly sober right now. And she goes to a lot of shows, a lot of festivals. And she is honestly, when I see her dancing, she's got the Holy Ghost in her. I don't know. She's dancing like the hardest out of anyone there. And she's sober. And I'm curious. I would love for you to speak a little bit about why you chose to be sober and what it does for you. Yeah.
So obviously, like, I'm not fully sober. There's been moments in my life where I've gone like a year sober or a few months, whatever. I do love acid, Molly, shrooms, weed a little bit. I just did a year actually without weed, so I'm pretty proud of myself. I did just smoke with my cousin though, but it was like, it's your cousin and whatever, it's fine. But for the most part, I'm sober. I mean, when I started going to raves, I definitely took a lot of Molly. I was taking lots of acid and shrooms. I've never done ketamine or coke, anything else besides those 3 drugs, which they're medicine and drugs at the same time. Just, again, depends on how you're using it. But there was a long period of time where I was taking all of this at the same time for like a year, and it was awesome. And I honestly learned so much, and it showed me more happiness, which helped me like be sober and be happy, which is a weird thing to say, but it really did help. And I've listened to podcasts in the past about girls like yogis taking microdoses of ketamine and Molly, and it is used for therapy. It helps many people. So I do like support it, but I'm not telling you guys to go do it. But there was a point where I was doing a lot, and then I did actually have a seizure on shrooms, and then 10 days later I ate some oatmeal and had another seizure, which doesn't make any sense. The doctors were like, what? We don't know.
So oatmeal.
I guess oatmeal, which is not good for you. I guess we were talking about this yesterday. But where was I going with that? Anyways, the seizures showed me just a lot, and so I went sober for literally a year, and I still went. I actually had this friend at the time who was also sober, so she really helped me, like, inspire me to do that. And I just saw her dance and go to these even like frat parties sober, and any kind of party. And I was like, that's super dope. Like, I low-key want to be like that. And so I went sober for like 11 months, and it actually changed me and helped me. And I went to these festivals, shows, parties, and I was sober. And I also love just being like, yeah, I don't do any drugs. I don't drink, nothing, just cold turkey. And it was really hard the first week or 2 month. I don't believe in crystals that much. Like, I have crystals, but amethyst, I wear it every day. It's on my finger right here. It is actually the sobriety stone. And I swear I wore amethyst. I had this big necklace. I wore it for like a month, and it helps take the headaches away from like fiending on whatever you're doing. Mainly like nicotine, I think, is what was really hard for me to stop at that point.
You've been vape free for how long?
Yeah, I've been vape free, nicotine free. Besides that Envision, I had one spliff, but it's Envision. It's fine. I think since like 2020, so is that 6 years now?
And kids, if you're listening, vapes lower your T. I repeat, vapes lower your testosterone. If you're feeling like you're in a rut and you hit vapes or even rip Zins, just maybe consider exploring life without it. And or maybe not. Fuck Dove. Don't listen to me.
I don't judge anybody who does that. Like, we're all gonna die either way, but to me it's so unattractive to watch people do that. But like, to each their own. Like, I'm not judging you. A lot of my friends do it.
Just a little bit.
I
it's
still
just
love you
hot.
guys, but you shouldn't be doing that.
But
being addicted to something is like the worst thing.
It's not a good look.
It is not a good look, and it just doesn't help you in your life.
Exactly.
You know?
And no, thank you for
I forgot what
that.
I don't know what we're...
I think you answered the question. So about sobriety, what it did for you. And I think a lot of young people especially grow up in this party sort of alcohol culture. And they don't know, because this was my experience in undergrad. Like, how do I party and socialize when I'm not, if I'm not just completely belligerent? And it's so bad for the body. And I'm really too sensitive for that, I found. Like, I meditate every day. I work out every day. Like, I do breath work. If I drink, it just fucks me for days. Why would I? I can't do that. And again, I feel bad for the kids that don't have another outlet for like socializing. And that brings me to the new wave of not just sobriety, but like sauna, cold plunge settings. Like, shout out Ember and Ice yet again. Ember and Ice is a cold plunge sauna place in Boulder. Shout out you guys, because again, it's like Roman bathhouse vibes. You get to come together with the team, sweat it out, go through really intense experiences, get in some bitterly cold water, and it opens you up, and you can really get that social nourishment from a place where you don't have to just poison your body. And I'll just say, I've been sober for 2 years in the middle of my life. I found psychedelics when I was like 15. All right, let's just go into it. I found psychedelics when I was like 15 with my boy Iggy. I won't say his full name just in case he doesn't want me to say it. But in upstate New York where I grew up, just ate some acid, and it was just amazing. It really opened me up off the bat. Opened me up to see my conditioning, the stories I was living by. And are these stories a cage? And are they causing me to torture myself? Again, societally conditioned stories of success, failure, good, bad. What do I do? Who am I? Who should I be? Stories. And I think with psychedelics, specifically tryptamines, and so tryptamines are like psilocybin mushrooms, DMT, NN-DMT, or 5-MeO-DMT. There's an effect on the brain. It stimulates neurogenesis in the nervous system, so literally healing, regenerating nerves, which they thought was impossible. And it also it has a very the effect of making the psyche very fluid. So all the stories that seem so real and so solid, they kind of melt in those really intense psychedelic experiences. I mean, if you ever smoke DMT, NN-DMT, the whole world turns to liquid. Or you just black out, or it's wow. But it's pretty pronounced, and that's where you have a lot more mobility in working with your stories, just unconsciously, through not just during the experience but afterwards. The mind is more malleable, and you can replace the stories that are causing you suffering with stories that invoke freedom, confidence, stories that invoke connection, stories that invoke a direct relationship to spirit. So that is the benefit of psychedelics. I think that people get scared because they're like, am I going to go crazy? Are these psychedelics going to melt my brain? And I'll say for some people, definitely that could be a concern. I'll say from my own experience, if my brain could have been melted, it definitely would have. If my boys are listening, Duff Daddy rips 20 grams of mushrooms, snorts a whole squirt of acid accidentally. And if I could have been fucked, I think I would have. For me, it's like the danger comes when you're, again, solidifying certain stories, or you're holding on very tightly to certain narratives, beliefs about yourself, who you are. And when you hold on really intense psychedelics, that's when you get ripped. And that's where you can have a psychotic break. That's my understanding of it. And again, these things are being recognized. These psychedelic substances are being recognized in the psychotherapeutic field as miraculous substances that can break people out of crazy, treatment-resistant depression. Ketamine, 5-MeO-DMT. These are things that are healing the world when people are so trapped in their in the contracted, solidified stories that are so painful. So I love psychedelics. I think I will be a proponent of them till I die, to be honest. I think these are sacraments from creation itself for beings to consume. Like, look at these mushrooms. They show you God. What? A toad secretes a venom that you scrape, you dry, and you smoke. And it's 5-MeO-DMT, the most powerful psychedelic on the planet. That seems like it's out of a dream because maybe it is. And maybe creation was planting these things for us to consume, to show us different elements of psyche, mind, and creation. So I love psychedelics, but at the same time, let's go full spectrum to talk about the benefit of sobriety, which for me was like, when I get in these very fluid places, you're very open. There's a lot of, again, malleability of the mind, but it can feel ungrounded. And that's when I need a little bit of like school, work, something, bring me back to reality. And that's what sobriety can do, is it gives you time to integrate, be like, who do I want to be? What stories do I want to feed? And again, also just don't be addicted to these substances. Don't misuse them. Don't think that they can save you. Because in a sense they can, but in a sense they can't. Only you can save yourself. I think
they can for like the right people, but I've seen people just go down the rabbit hole. Like I have friends and so it's like watching people when it doesn't work how it works for you. I see it working totally opposite in other people. Yep. And it's so sad, but they also just need different kinds of healing before they do that, or they're maybe abusing the medicine, drugs.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. And I think it's important to recognize these things it's high risk, high reward kind of game. Yeah, you can really mess up yourself with those very intense experiences. And I think two things come to mind when we're talking about how to do these things safely. One is first, low dose. Try it out. Test those waters first before you hit high dose. Don't take 3 drops of acid or
just take 3.5 grams your first time, like I did, and figure it out.
Figure it out. I'm with you on that. Yeah. But okay, so I want to talk about like the role of community in integration and also holding people in those difficult experiences. Because when we're very isolated and we have such a difficult time, there's some trauma resurfacing or some just pain in general. Having community to hold you, to see you, to talk to, it can be so healing. And also I want to say that again, so everyone's different biologically. So that's a component too. Hence, take baby steps in these things, unless you're Gretchen or I, and just get absolutely slammed on psychs and just figure it out.
I feel like I want to say also, if you're taking medicine from your doctor and also doing these psychedelics and drugs, you're just going to mush up your brain and it's not going to go anywhere. I don't agree with the doctor, what they give people. And I see them, take these antidepressants and then they're like thinking it's working. So then they're going to take Molly and acid and then it's like actually making you worse. And it's really sad.
And this brings me to like the pharmaceutical industry, which is, let's just look at benzodiazepines, Xanax. Does that solve anxiety? Anyone who's taken a benzo knows it does not.
For the moment.
For the moment. But
like, what is that doing?
It comes back worse afterwards. So we're selling people an addiction, actually. We're selling people, oh, guess what? Now we got you. Now you got to pay money forever or else guess what? The anxiety's going to fuck you. And like, I'm, as a therapist, saying we don't need to numb the anxiety. We need to listen to it. Yeah. It's telling you something. It's begging for your attention. And can we spend time with it? Because until we do, it'll haunt you. And that's the thing. The system, I think, will look back at giving kids kids Xanax like frontal lobotomies. We'll be like, how could we have done that to our fucking kids? It gives me chills, to be honest. But especially when there's other substances and there's other ways to help people. And I think a big part of the mental health crisis is, again, the lack of real community. The fact that people feel so harmed by maybe community, society, that they can't be vulnerable, they can't share themselves, and as a result there's a wall over the heart, and there's none of that deep nourishment being held by others. And this brings me back to music festivals. This is the world healing, human beings coming together. Thank God it fucking took long enough. Yeah. like quite literally. And it's changing things to open up to love, to ask the question, what does that mean? What does that look like to open up to love? And to trust that, yeah, you want to go party in the desert for a week at the Burn? Sick. Send it. Creation is trying to connect. It's trying to heal itself. Can we open up to that and allow it? Or do we say, oh, I don't know. What is my mom going to think? Do I have the cake? I'm telling you, if you have an opportunity, please surround yourself with people in these environments. And, you know, obviously some of them are better than others. Shout out Unison, Burning Man, Envision, Shambhala. And some are, you know, less so. Some are very unhealthy, actually. Like the food they're serving, they're just the kind of the collective field in some of those festivals is like grimy. And if you're in the festival scene, you know what we're talking about. And yeah, I'm curious because you were talking about your yoga path. And so did that start with the music festivals and then merge into yoga, or?
I started my yoga path like because I grew up doing synchronized swimming and acrobatics. So I never really went to yoga classes probably until like 2018, 2019. But I've always been able to do yoga just because I was very, very flexible. Like could just easily like do that type of stuff. But I think it was when I moved to Colorado, I probably took like one yoga. Actually, in high school, my mom took me to yoga because I was really sad and depressed one day. And she was like, let's go to yoga. And it was hot yoga. And I did not have any fun. But then like, you know, flash forward like 2 years later, my mom was like, you should do your yoga teacher training. And so I did that. And that helped me fall into yoga because I wasn't even really doing it before. But then just doing my teacher training, being there for like 5 months, that showed me so much. And I had a great practice, but then COVID happened, kind of fell away from it. But now I do yoga a bunch. Not as much, like I don't go every single day. I stretch every day, but it is expensive, you know?
Yoga is expensive, unless you do it yourself.
Yeah, unless you do it yourself. But I do love yoga. I think everyone should stretch. Like my stepdad, he is not flexible at all. And I'm like, you would actually feel so much better if you just stretched every day. Like you don't need to go to yoga, but maybe sit down, meditate, stretch. Like I love that Ben meditates. Super awesome. I need to be better about it. But I meditate when I free dive or I'm at a festival, like dancing.
We'll do a retreat someday.
Yeah.
We'll do a retreat someday.
Yeah.
So this, again, brings me to how do we integrate those deeply transformative psychedelic experiences? Again, there's a place for sobriety, for integration, and also looking at our overall health. Because the reason I started taking psychedelics is because I want to feel good. I want to feel better. And that's not bad. Of course we do. That's not wrong. But tuning into the body to see, what does that actually mean? How do I actually feel better? And for me, that brought me to this sort of sphere of health and wellness, where yoga is huge. And I like that you spoke to just the stretching component. In yoga, if you're having a bad day and you pull up to a yoga class, usually you leave feeling pretty good, pretty clear. And that's because the mind and the body, actually we could view it as one system. So when the body is very tight, the mind is very tight, and the things there's a lot of problems, and I can't open up, and when we stretch,
there's emotion in your hips. Like you gotta open your hips up. You need to open them. It helps for real. I promise, guys.
And it releases emotion. Like if you've ever been in a yoga class and you hit pigeon for 4 or 5 minutes, pigeon pose, which is a deep hip opener. Sometimes you just burst into tears. Because energy is being released. Yeah. And these, again, so the mind and body, we can view it as one thing. So when we loosen, stretch out, breathe into the body, all of a sudden the stories in the mind, they get more spacious because it's one system. And so this brings me again to how do we live like the best life? Because some people get caught in the psychedelics. And obviously those are sacraments, like I said. But I think coming back to overall health and what that means, and this is where I feel like for me, what keeps me from, partying till I'm homeless is pushing my body hard, like running ultra marathons, going to the gym and working out like a demon. And I love it. It feels so good. I get to move all that energy. And that's where when we start to merge it too, like psychedelic experiences, breath work, intense exercise, because your body craves some intensity. It really does. Like, it feels so good. We have a whole pharmacy in our minds, in our bodies. And when we push, especially through strength training or running or yoga, you're releasing these like happy neurotransmitters, these hormones. And that's the thing. So many people get stuck in a rut, anxiety stuck in the head. And then we're like, I don't know how to change my life. What do I do? Maybe move your body.
Yeah, move your body.
Stretch things out. Move them a little bit.
I think lots of like not acid as much, but like shrooms and Molly and weed give me so much anxiety. I've had the last like 2 years, I've had crazy panic attacks. And those moments when I'm sober, like doing yoga, that really helps me, like jumping in the ocean, going on a hike. Like, I'm all for trying these things, but also you don't need any drug at all. Yeah. Maybe a tequila shot here and there. No, I'm just kidding. But you really don't need this stuff. Like, you can go to the gym and be sober and move your body sober, and you just don't need it.
And I will say, in my life, so the period of time that I was sober was when it was kind of in the period when I was really depressed, and I went to India and stayed at this ashram, and then I lived at a Sikh community in New Mexico, and then worked on some farms, went to a couple Zen centers, and was just on this spiritual path, and I didn't do any substances, none. And I found there's a certain joy that comes with the simplicity, and I wasn't even drinking coffee. Like, you're just in the harmony, the natural rhythms of your body. And there's a peace that actually comes from that, instead of taking substances. And this is, acid, mushrooms, anything you take, as well as caffeine, as well as nicotine. Like, these substances are like induced highs. And what happens to the body? Can we feel into the natural rhythms of the highs and the lows that just naturally come? And there's a freedom and a peace when I'm not pushing or pulling, where it's like, damn, I wish I had a Zen right now, or I wish I had a cup of coffee. I could really use that. When you just open up to, if I'm tired, I'm tired. Sick, go take a nap. You know what I mean? And there's like such a freedom in that you really can't taste when you're really indulging in all these substances consistently. So yeah, sobriety for those who are in the festival scene, or maybe feeling a pull towards sobriety. Maybe it's a message to actually take that jump, take that leap, trust again in the desire, let go of the sacraments that maybe have served you for quite a while, to step into some new territory. And yeah, so this brings me to, again, new territory with Gretchen. So we hit the music festivals. You hit Shambhala this year. I didn't. I went last year. We're going to Envision.
Yeah.
Shout out if you're going to Envision, you see this podcast.
Yeah, let us know.
Hit us up.
Envision is life-changing. So if you're into like yoga, just connecting with people all around the world, looking at monkeys fly around in the trees, shaking your butt, taking your shoes off. I literally lost my shoes last year, and it was amazing.
Wait, permanently?
Yeah, I don't know where they were. And then I walked back, and I had no shoes on the whole time. It was great.
Gretchen doesn't wear shoes, by the way.
Ben wears shoes, and it annoys me so. He'll just walk to the bathroom and puts his shoes on. No, I'm just kidding. But he actually,
I grew up. I live in cold places.
I mean, I get it. I always wore shoes until I lived in Hawaii, and then stopped wearing shoes and was like, I love going to the gas station without shoes on. I don't know. It might sound gross, but
she's an island girl.
You just need to feel the earth, I swear.
There's literal science behind it. So I wear the Earth Runner sandals, which are they're grounding sandals. And what they do is they put a copper rod in the sandals themselves. So I literally go on big runs in these sandals. And it feels like you're barefoot, and it feels better for the psyche. I think they did tests. I want to say, someone's going to quote me and say this is not accurate, but I think it lowers blood pressure, subjective stress, and the theory behind it is that, so all beings have an energetic field. All, animals, plants, we all have a field around us, and the earth has an energetic field as well. And when we wear rubber-soled shoes, we're actually, because rubber doesn't conduct electricity, we're actually separating ourselves from grounding into the energetic field of the earth, which is kind of what every single thing here has evolved.
It also does not help your spine at all. But shoes are awesome. I love wearing shoes when I want to like feel cute and cool, and boots are great. But you won't catch me in shoes in Hawaii unless I'm going out.
If you see Gretchen Lindemann in shoes, call her out. Yeah. Tell her to take them off.
Yeah. No, shoes are cool. Like dressing up is awesome. But would rather not wear shoes. Yeah. Like I love walking to a waterfall in Hawaii and I have no shoes on and my feet are all brown and muddy. It's awesome.
And that's a big part of, I think, your adventurous spirit. And you said that connection that you have with nature, it hasn't always been there.
Yeah.
And so I want to see if you can speak a little bit to that, kind of how you were before, how you related to nature, to mud, and now how you relate to those experiences.
Yeah, it's really interesting because if you knew me probably in like middle school, early high school, I mean, my parents can back me up. Like I just was more like a city girl and I just hated going camping. Like I remember going on a family trip once camping and I was just like freaking out the whole time. It's just because I wasn't tapped in. Just was very different. And my parents are super adventurous, but I feel like they didn't put me in the dirt when I was little. They're like, oh no, like don't get dirty, you know? So then therefore growing up, I'm like, ooh, like I don't want to touch mud. I don't want to be around all these bugs. But yeah, I was like just so different, like just very opposite of who I am now. Did not like to be outside. But then there was a point during high school where I was like, oh, like this is really pretty. And I saw that, but I still wasn't fully there. And probably until I moved to Colorado, that's when I really like, actually it was more like Hawaii, like fully transitioned into like, I love Earth. I mean, if I see a spider, I'm still going to jump for sure. But I love bugs. They're really cute. I just don't like them on me. And I don't want a bee flying in my ear, but I love bees. Like they're very cool. They make the earth, you know? But yeah.
Bugs are dope. Shout out bugs.
We love you, bugs.
But they're kind of creepy when you zoom up, when you zoom in on them.
They're
nature
so
dog.
Cool though.
They are cool.
And
they're
all animals,
creatures.
So cool. But it's like we don't know these creatures, so there's definitely like a fear.
Yeah.
And same with the ocean, like sharks, you know, all that.
Sharks are also sketchy.
Yeah, but they're super dope.
They are super dope. And they're another face of the divine. They're another extension of us. And can we, again, honor that? And I think what you're speaking to is just a general return to the earth. It seems like we had this mass wave in really just modernized culture of trying to dominate nature and separating ourselves from it. There's definite roots in certain philosophical ideas that I don't remember. But just look at the 1900s, 1800s, look at the Industrial Revolution. It's this separation from nature, which actually we can say has a place. When we were living in the woods, you know, fur trappers in the 1800s in the American West, let's like build a city because this is sketchy. Like, so there's a place for it. And now we've almost outgrown that dharma, that path. And so many people hate on it, but it's like it had a purpose to now we need to scrap that, shed our skin and be reborn and reconnect with this earth, reconnect.
We are earth too. So yeah, I just wasn't connected for so long because I was just so oblivious. And I don't know, my parents aren't very like spiritual. So I didn't have that growing up.
Yeah.
Until I was like 18, like taking acid, shrooms, like moving out to Colorado. Then I was like, oh.
And once you see it, it seems so obvious. Of course, we're an extension of the earth.
Yeah.
We are the earth made human. Just like, you know, a spider is an earth made spider or the earth made mountain, cloud, river. It's all an extension of one flow, one being. And can we connect with that? Can we trust that? And this brings me to deep spiritual truths, which is when we recognize, because this topic you could say is related to non-duality. Advaita Vedanta is one of the main schools, came from India, where they say there's not two. It's non-dual. You can't really say there's one because if there's a one, it implies a zero. Non-duality says just not two. So we're all the same. And what happens to how we relate to ourselves when we recognize that? How we relate to other people, how we relate to other animals, creatures, plants, and also how we relate to death. When we understand I'm everything, it's non-dual. What dies? Does the world disappear? I would guess not. So really, when we understand that, can we release the really contracted psychological experience, which is identifying with the ego, this human form, this mind and body? Can we let go of that to open up to something much better, recognizing we can, yes, birth and death in one sense are real, but in another sense, there was no ultimate birth and it could be no real death. This is in the Heart Sutra in Buddhism, I think it's a Heart Sutra. Someone check, second guess this or double check it if not. But they say there is no end to old age, birth, and death. And at the same time, there is no old age, birth, and death. How could it be both? And this is in Zen, they're trying to confuse you. So again, lock up the mind, because the freedom, the real truth is in the paradox. It's in both and neither at the same time. And I think that's what we're stepping into. Reconnect, merge once again with the natural world, which is what you are, which is what will be here when we're dust. When this body and mind is dust. And this brings me to this element of service. How do we give? Because the thing that we are giving to, whether it's people, the natural world, whatever, is you. It's service from you to you. Mm-hmm. And for me, like when I recognize the truth of non-duality, for instance, the kids running around, the ones that are not born, the kids that will be born in 100 years, that's you. Same consciousness, different form. Mm-hmm. And do you want them to live in a delusional, repressed society? Because that's you that has to deal with that. Everyone that has ever ended their own life has been you in a different body. Mm-hmm. Everyone who's ever had the most beautiful, fulfilling, enriched, whole life has been you. Everything. And that's part of the reason I think non-duality is hard for some people to wrap their head around, because you're taking on not just all the beauty and the deathlessness of that perspective, but also all the pain of everybody. Mm. And this leads into the bodhisattva ideal of I'm not free until everything else is first. And so I just want to talk about service for a little bit. I think this is a topic that I would love to have be more of a common thing on this podcast. But in your own life, because you've spoken to me a little bit about this, what does service mean to you? How are you of service?
Also, very deep question. Mm-hmm. But so I don't know how to answer that, but I think just being like a great friend and trying to inspire people to connect with themselves and do what you love. Like, I think I'm just of service to show people like happiness mm-hmm. and connect to nature and mm-hmm. whatnot. I definitely think in my, like when I go back to Oahu in a few weeks, I want to get into like more volunteer work, like coral restoration and just like picking up more trash. Like I do want to like help the earth more. I think I don't do that enough. But I don't know how, like, I don't know how to answer it. I'm still learning how I'm of service, you know?
I think that's a beautiful answer. And it's a question we have to hold our whole lives. Mm-hmm. How do we give back to this place that gave us literally everything? Mm-hmm. How do we get back? And for me, it started like, you know, with little things. I pick up trash on hikes. Always. Yeah. I will always be that guy. I'll walk down a sheer cliff to pick up a plastic cup. And always. And it's the little things. It's like, who's going to do it? I'm an extension of these mountains. I'm going to make it clean and look nice for other people to experience. And I think, again, we get caught up in the big acts of service. Because, you know, for me, there's sort of just a knowing even if you hold a door for somebody, that feels good. You smile at somebody.
Yeah, be kind.
That can make somebody's day. And that feels good for you in the moment. So giving a little bit feels good. How do you think it might feel if you let go and give a lot? Probably pretty good. And that's what happened when I started doing hospice work when I first moved to Boulder. Is like I'm giving my time for free, volunteering to this old lady, working with her for a year and a half until she passed away. And my friends were like, why? And I'm like, it's hard to say why. I'm not really getting anything out of it except being of service. And what happens when we're of service too, this is again deep psychological sort of meditative insight, is the sense of self gets looser. Because actually, if you pay attention in meditation, this experience of self has a stranglehold on most people. It's all about me, and my experiences and my things and my freedom, my peace, my whatever. It's all me. And actually what you'll find is there's no end to the desire of the ego. And there's a beauty in that. We don't want to push that away completely. But it can, again, strangle us. So instead, when you're of service selflessly, you're actually acting in a way that is loosening the illusory solidity of that ego. And that inherently feels good. So that's kind of what I would tell people is I just feel good. It feels better to like like an exhale, like a deep breath out, like, huh, thank God it's not all about me anymore. Jesus. We were never going to make it. But yeah, I think for me, it was starting with like little acts of kindness, and it was always that. And then I was like, I came to this place when I was living at the Zen centers and in deep meditation. So week meditation retreat a month in silence and 4 hours of sitting a day. And you come to this really deep place. Again, just the sense of self is so transparent. You see it's only a story. And you're like, what's worth putting my energy into? And I remember telling somebody this, and this is giving me chills remembering this. I said, I just want to find that thing that I can give my whole life to. And just take it. I don't want it. Please take it from me. And I've wondered what that was for so long, and it's still an open question for me of how do I give everything that I am? What is worth putting my energy into? And you know, a lot of people I think find that that outlet in maybe another person. It can be an intimate partner. It can be taking care of your parents, and that's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And I think that's just one way to one channel that we can express that service. What does it look like to be in service to all of creation, to all human beings? Even just saying that, opening up that portal, what does it mean? What does it look like to be in service to all of creation and to all human beings? Can we feel that in our body? Can we feel the freedom? Can we feel the goodness, the integrity in that? Can we feel source coming through us that is trying to make this place heaven on earth? Can we get out of our own way? So yeah, service, public service. So Gretchen, you're in Hawaii now. You work on a boat. What led you to, the ocean? You grew up in Texas.
Yeah.
And you weren't by the ocean.
Yeah, I was kind of by the ocean. If you know Texas, it's pretty brown. Like once you go out far, it's obviously blue and pretty. But yeah, I grew up in Texas, and like I was a synchronized swimmer. My mom was a synchronized swimmer, so always have loved the water. Like did summer swim league or whatever that's called. My dad is a underwater photographer, just a photographer in general. So always grew up like seeing his photos. Like my parents literally met. He was the scuba diving instructors. He was like the helper or whatever, and that's how they met scuba diving, which is like super cute. And then they created a water baby, a mermaid, frog, fairy princess, whatever. So
that's Gretchen, by
anyways,
the way.
My dad loves sharks. So growing up, I like always watched Shark Week and everything. And he like forced me to watch Jaws one day. And obviously like I was really scared of the water growing up, still scared of murky water. It's still something that I'm, every day, like trying to conquer, because I will have dreams of looking for a mooring ball in brown water, which is crazy. And a mooring ball is just something that's at the bottom of the ocean. Where I work, I have to like dive 35 feet to tie up the boat. And some days the water isn't clear. It's nothing's perfect in this world. So anyways, yeah, grew up kind of a water baby, but then went scuba diving when I was like 16 or 17 years old with my dad in Cozumel, got my scuba certification there. Did like probably 13 dives within a week or two or whatever. And I like saw the underwater world for the first time, and that really inspired me leading into like the next few years of like me becoming more adventurous. And then when I was 18, my dad took me to the Guadalupe Islands to cage dive with great white sharks. And if you know where the Guadalupe Islands are, or have seen like Ocean Ramsey out there, you know that they're huge great whites, and that's super scary. But it was so cool, and it just inspired me to just love the ocean and want to be more connected to that. And then when I moved to Hawaii, honestly, I didn't know I was going to work on a boat at all. I moved there to watch these two little girls and help this family out. And then I randomly got a job on the Vida Mia, which if you've seen White Lotus season 1, that's the boat that's in it. It's this old wooden commuter yacht. And I started working there, did like crew work, serving drinks, food, whatever. And then I wanted to become a snorkel guide, because once I moved to Hawaii, I saw all these girls, like I'd go snorkeling with my best friend Aaliyah, love you, and we would see these girls with these long fins on, they're diving underwater for like 2 minutes, doing boa rings, and I was like, that's literally gonna be me. And so I just did a lot of breath work, went freediving every day for the last like 4 years of my life, and I love it. And so working on the snorkel boat really helped me just become better and more connected with the ocean. There's a really cool reef out there. It's unfortunately kind of dead, but there's lots of life and turtles and dolphins, and you can hear the whales underwater. It's just so beautiful. And I feel like I also struggle with meditation, like I said earlier. And so I love going in the ocean because I do meditate when I'm there free diving, because you have to slow down your heart rate. You have to focus on literally holding your breath. I dive through these huge caves, and it's like you can't freak out. You literally have to be so zen and just, I'm holding my breath, like, wow, this is cool. But like, yeah, it's just a very, I don't know how to explain it. It's just a crazy, meditative, magical moment for me. But yeah, I love working on boats. The company I work with is awesome. I love all my mermaid coworker girls, and I'm just so happy. Like, I look for dolphins and whales and give turtle facts, and it's like one of the coolest jobs I think you could have, honestly.
And I think what you're speaking to, the happiness, the fact that you're so stoked to be doing that, it's because you followed your heart.
Yeah.
And you've told me off Instagram, and Gretchen has a pretty decent following on Instagram. We'll get into
I don't even have a following.
Yeah, she got a little bit of a following, but people hit her up.
But I got cool pictures.
People hit her up saying thank you for just sharing your whole life. So she's also the kind of girl that posts 30 Instagram stories. And at first I was like, whoa, that's a lot. And then I'm like, wait, these are all kind of sick. You get to see into her life.
Yeah.
And people hit her up and say thank you for leading the way, for showing me I can, again, just express myself, follow my desire. And that's the thing. We are so caught up in a heady experience of should and shouldn't, what's right, what's wrong. Will I have enough money? What if I mess up? It's all stories in the mind. The heart is saying, go to Hawaii, work on a boat, go take photos of turtles. And
also, like, Instagram, just, I think you should be able to post whatever you want. And I just love posting whatever I want. I literally do not care. I will post 100 stories. I'll repost. Hundreds. I will post a picture for my best friends on every single birthday of the same pictures. I literally do not care. And I don't think anybody should care. And that's beautiful, right? Yes. And also, I do take cool pictures. So I just want to share it. And even if I don't get any likes, I'm like, it's for me to post. It's my diary, you know. I do journal a lot, but I definitely more like a visual photography journal kind of girl. Always been like that. Always been making videos. My dad's literally a photographer, so I've just always been in that realm of things. And
I mean, while we're on the topic, if you want to follow Gretchen and witness hundreds of dope Instagram stories of this beautiful creature, what is your IG handle?
It's just _GGRETCHENN_. And my photography account is visuals.by.gretch.
So, okay. Visuals.by.gretch.
Yeah.
And so the first one was basically 2 underscores Gretchen.
Yeah.
Underscore. Yeah. So follow her. She's an angelic creature, a radiant queen living in Hawaii, free diving. Catch her page to see all of her dope adventures.
Yeah.
Gretchen, before we wrap this up, do you have anything else you want to add? Any more shout outs? Anything you want to plug?
Just follow your soul, you know, stay around the people who make you giggle really hard and, you know, support you and don't judge you. And love your family, call your mom, look for frogs, try to go free diving at some point in your life, travel the world, take photos, love life, love music, shake your ass, take tequila shots.
Remember that you're blessed.
Journal, do your words of affirmation, lots of I am grateful.
And take your shoes off sometimes.
Take your shoes off all the time.
So these are the wise words of advice from Gretchen Lindemann.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on. This is such a dope conversation.
I appreciate you so much.
Of course, likewise.
Ben is awesome, guys. Follow him if you're not already following him.
Yeah.
And stay tuned for more amazing people to come on his podcast.
Exactly. We got some good ones coming up, but you're definitely one of them. Thank you.
Yay. Love you.
Love you.
Snap, snap, snap.